since the unexplainable happened when an Uber driver went on a nearly 7-hour killings rampage, picking up fares for our company along the way. We're sorry to say that there has not been any word on when Uber will be back up and running. As many of you know, Uber has suffered a few image-damaging obstacles in the last few years, including several scams. Staying temporarily closed is necessary to bring our once thriving, safe company back to life again, and to protect those who choose to ride with Uber. Let me start out by giving you some information on what happened in this tragedy that occurred on February 20th, 2016. Uber has gone from a great cutting-edge company to a company people have become afraid to participate in. The most recent downfall for Uber was when Jason Dalton went on a killing rampage while still picking up fares for the company in between his killings. The shootings were first reported after a woman was shot several times in an apartment building parking lot. She was with her 3 children at the time. She survived the gunshots and is recovering. More than 4 hours later, Jason Dalton went and shot a father and his son at a car dealership. Minutes later, Dalton opened fire in a Cracker Barrel parking lot, killing 4 elderly women and severely injuring a 14-year-old girl who was thought to be dead at the scene but is in fact alive and in critical condition. All of this seemed random and to happen for no apparent reason. What could have possibly caused Dalton to go on this killing spree? Dalton told police that the Uber ride-sharing app had told him to kill these people. He believed he was possessed by the app and said that it took over his body and led him to these people and forced him to kill them. Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety Chief Jeff Hadley said that nothing has led them to believe that these people had even called for a ride. All of the victims had their own vehicles nearby. Yet Dalton seemed to come home and tell his wife a completely different story about a taxi driver who was upset with him for stealing his customers and wouldn't leave him alone, and so that's why he went home earlier that night to get his gun. He told neither of these stories add up or make any sense at all. Dalton became a driver for Uber in late January, even though, as we have already claimed, a background check could not have foreseen that this would happen. And this is in no way any of the victims' fault. I'm truly saddened by this situation, and I will explain why it is necessary for Uber to help out these families and to do more to prevent something like this from happening in the future. I want to start out by sending my sincere condolences to those affected by this unexplainable tragedy. I feel awful for our customers who trust us to keep them safe. I assure you that Uber is deeply saddened by this crisis and feels partially responsible for what has happened. Even though we could not have seen this coming through the precautions taken upon hiring Jason Dalton, ceasing to continue the ride-sharing app for this time being is necessary until further notice. Postponing use of the Uber ride-sharing app is necessary until further notice so that Uber can determine what new precautions they will need to take upon hiring new drivers to prevent this crisis from happening again. Uber has over 15.8 million customers per month, according to SurveyMonkey, and we want to ensure that our customers can ride safely and with peace of mind. We understand that several things have happened to damage Uber's image, including several scams and other occurrences that weren't nearly as severe as this one. We plan to fix these imperfections to ensure that Uber is a safe and reliable ride-sharing company. One of our biggest priorities is keeping our customers safe no matter what. We here at Uber understand that you trusted us to keep you safe, and we have failed you. The families of the victims in the shooting will be compensated for the emotional and physical trauma that they have suffered. We will be helping out with medical bills, including counseling and other things the families may need help with along the way. Even though we did not know that Jason Dalton would commit such a crime, by hiring him, we unintentionally put you in harm's way, and we are deeply sorry for that. This is not all that we have planned to do to help everyone affected overcome this tragedy. Along with compensating the families, Uber vows to change the requirements that need to be met in order to be hired as an Uber driver. The hiring process for Uber will become lengthier and involve a series of interviews over a certain period of time. The process will include a background check as it did before, a physical examination completed by a doctor, a drug screening, and a personality test. These will all be performed to help ensure to our best of abilities that nothing like this will ever happen at Uber again. Having explained how we plan to overcome this incident as a company, let me conclude. During this briefing, I have described what happened on February 20, 2016, what Uber plans to do to help the victims of this crime, and what Uber plans to do as a company to ensure that something like this never happens again. As damaging to our company as temporary closing our doors will be, we believe the benefits of fixing our mistakes and being an overall better company when we reopen far outweigh the disadvantages of closing in the meantime. Thank you.